Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Coach Rivals 2024 season and the very first episode of Rift Happens. I am totally blessed to have this opportunity to be one of the faces on the screen here. My name is Justin, and I am joined by another familiar face right below me here. That is Ronnie. Ronnie, how you doing?
Oh, yeah, Justin, I get the first shout out. I wasn't prepared. Hey, I'm excited. I'm ready to talk some League of Legends with, three of my favorite League of Legends celebrities, I guess, right? Yeah. I say celebrities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll take that. And next up, we are joined by the commish himself. Over to my right, your left over here. It is the world's best Victor mid player, Drake Prime.
Yep, that's me. It's so good it never got to play it again. And not because it was banned, just because he wouldn't let it happen. No, thanks
awesome.
for...
And our fourth... Oh, yeah, you're what? Look, man, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to bring the memories. And right below Drake, you are going to recognize another familiar face, the Timo Enjoyer himself. It's Coop.
Yes, what's up, everybody? Excited to be here with these three. This is going to be fun, kicking off Season 5, maybe? 2024, that's all that matters. Summer 2024, so this will be fun. Thanks for bringing this back, Justin. Appreciate it.
Yeah, man. So I'm excited. And I'm sure I'm not just sure about it. I'm positive that we have a lot of new coaches this season that are going to be participating in Coach Rivals. And Rift Happens looks a little bit different this year, where it's no longer just a straight podcast. We're kind of functioning as a pre-show. And because we have not only some new faces and we have a new look for Rift Happens, I figured it would be a great idea for us to kind of set the stage and set the pace for what Coach Rivals is. So, Coop, if you just kind of educate our audience, what is Coach Rivals?
That's a great question. So Coach Rivals has been around for about 5 years now or so, long enough that we can't count, which is great. It started off with about 20 people and a kind of like a goal to learn League of Legends in a different way than just watching PowerPoints and slideshows and stuff like that, and YouTube videos on how to get good. And it was the concept was, what better way to learn to coach as a Scholastic esports coach than to actually play the game. And so Coach Rivals started as just that. It was a way to get coaches together, new and old. I think that's one of the best parts about Coach Rivals, is that we have brand new coaches in the same space as really experienced coaches. And I know that when I was playing, and I guess we called it Season 0 at the very beginning, we went live, we were streaming, and for me, that was like a crazy experience as a new coach. I was bad at League of Legends, but the thing I learned the most was what it was like to actually go live as a competitor, and taking that away and bringing it to the next season with my students. I was like, I had no idea what y'all were going through on game day, and Justin being my first coach in Coach Rivals, trying to teach me how to jungle. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. But yeah, I mean, just Coach Rivals is all about getting coaches together to learn how to play these games. And mix them up and not based purely on competitive prowess, but on a way to learn up and down the ladder.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a great description. I feel like that's pretty accurate. And so that's a great segue into what we want to chat about next, is that, yes, our season actually starts right after this episode of Rift Happens. We're going to see some action on stream on the Rift between two teams. And since we're starting that competitive season, the season does look a little bit different than previous seasons. So we're actually going to toss this over to the commish himself. Drake, what are some of the highlights of how things are going to look a little bit differently this year?
Yeah, so we took the feedback from last year. Last year was a great season. We had 8 teams compete. Very good. We did mixed ranks across, so people from Iron all the way up to Grandmaster playing with each other. And I know we had a great time, but there's also feedback saying, hey, some games were great. Some games I just got whooped for 45 minutes, and it wasn't a blast. So our first big change that we did was revert back. We did 2 seasons ago and have 2 different divisions. The way the divisions kind of break down is it's basically Iron to Silver, and then Gold Plus as our 2 division breakdowns. There's a little bleed in there somewhere, but again, trying to make the best environment, like Coop kind of reiterated down below, trying to make sure it's not just about the competitive prowess so much as make sure everybody has a good time and we're actually learning the game. That's our big that's probably our biggest change from last year. Aside from that, we also went back to still doing a draft from the captains. We decided to do, me and Coop sat down and broke the teams apart by rank, try to make it as even as possible. That way, we did by reviewing the OP.GGs, going into the games. Also, if we didn't sure, we asked people about other players, kind of where they felt they sat. So we had a lot of feedback in there. It wasn't just two guys throwing a dartboard hoping to hit a hit right. But while we're here, also give a huge shout out. She's not on here, but my fellow co-commissioner helped me get everything going this season. Huge shout out to Allison or Cartera. Could have done it without her this year or last year. So humongous shout out. She's amazing. Her team's lucky to have her on there. She's awesome. But yeah, I'd be remiss if I didn't get a chance to shout her out here.
Yeah, I would just add super helpful on the organizing and the prep and all that stuff. Allison's been, the spreadsheet, just the ability to manipulate those spreadsheets alone is incredible. A lot of spreadsheets.
That's awesome. It really does take an entire team. There's a lot of work going on in the background. And of course, the players, we're all grateful for the work that y'all put in because it takes a burden off the rest of us. But, there's a burden resting on those people that are putting in all the time. And it's not just on game night. It's the time throughout the week to get everything prepped and ready. And we're going to have probably some B streams going on too. Ronnie, I'm sure you'll take up that mantle at some point, but we're going to have a lot of fun this season. I'm excited about the changes. I think it's going to be great. I'm looking for, the feedback that we're going to have at the end of this season, because we just spend every single year making Coach Rivals better and better and better. And that's awesome. So the moment that really everybody was waiting for, but you may not have known you were waiting for, is the reveal of the team names, their logos, and the rosters. So we're actually going to toss this over to Ronnie because of the four of us, I think Ronnie has he has the best ability at pronouncing random names. And so I'm really excited to see how he's going to tackle this.
Hey, thanks, Justin. Yeah, no, honestly, I am probably looking at the spreadsheet for the second time. So we're going to see how this goes.
That is Coach Rivals in a nutshell.
Yeah. Fingers crossed I get them all right. I had maybe a few minutes of practice and I'm excited. But the most important thing is just shouting these guys out. We've got, what is this, 50?
Where are we starting? Are we starting with just
50 coaches?
Oh, yeah. What actually... Drake, what's putting you on the spot? What's our count?
Yeah. Well, we have 50. Yeah, we had 10 teams sign up, 5 apiece, so we have 50. And that's up 2. So every season before this, we've averaged 8 total teams across divisions. So we've actually added, was that number roughly like 12.5% growth or something like that? So great growth on our part. So
and some subs. I think there's some subs in the pocket too.
Yeah. They took 2 teams away. We added 2 teams. So we're expanding. Anyway, like we were saying earlier, we do have a little bit of a breakdown this year with different tiers. And so our champions tier is where all of our iron to silver players live. And we do actually require everyone to play rank games. So everyone's, ranked accurately, right? There is kind of a minimum requirement on that. So all these guys have played their placement games and been filtered out into these different teams, and we're just really hype about bringing all these team logos to you if you haven't seen them yet. So first up, we got Shake That Ashe. That's going to be really fun to say on stream. Really looking forward to that one. Thank you guys for forcing me to say that, 20, 30 times a week. On Shake That Ashe, we have C. Taylor 777 in the top lane. We got Saikazi in the jungle, Coyote in the mid. It's probably more pronounced Coyote. I'm sure he probably doesn't put the emphasis on it so much, but it is spelled with a K, so I'm being cautious. And then Blue Sai is ADC, and Loki Doki's the support there. So some returning faces, some new faces on that roster. Next up, we have the Farm.
Hey, I'm gonna chime in. I'm gonna chime in real quick.
Go ahead. Yes, please.
I know Blue Sai and Loki Doki. This is a blast from the past from the Valhalla back team from 2 seasons ago. They were duoed together on that team. So this is a reunion of of that bot lane duo from 2 seasons ago that made it all the way to the finals. I
I
think
mean,
they
I,
lost
Yeah,
to
I
your
was just
team,
gonna
Ronnie,
say.
but
Yeah, they were in second place. I remember that. Yeah.
and just to add on to
They
that, I
only
mean, we have a lot of
met,
return people
sorry.
too.
Yep.
So
Oh
like,
yeah.
so it's pretty cool that some of these. I mean, we got some OGs on these rosters.
I like these shout outs, guys. This is good. All right. Next up, we've got the Farm and the Furious. Probably one of the better team names. I was casting their practice game the other day, and I kept calling them the Fast and the Furious. So that's going to be a challenge. Just for whatever reason, my brain goes to that better known title. In the top lane, we've got Deathweaver 501. Jungle, we've got one of my favorite new usernames, right? I'm going to have fun saying this one a lot. Chupapi Mumu. So that's a fun one. Yeah. I feel like it never comes out, quickly. It's always one of those ones where I have to double check as it comes out. Mid lane, we've got Slipstream, big time returning face there. He's also helping us behind the scenes too. So shout out to Slipstream, especially with those B streams. In the bottom lane, we got the Disrespector. That's a newer face, if I'm not mistaken. And as support, we've got Sour on the Seer filling out that roster. So definitely some, like I said, a good mix, new and returning faces.
what's the over-under on Chupapi Mumu actually being able to play a Mumu this season?
So, okay,
Yeah.
I casted
Instant
his practice
ban.
game the other day. He won't get a chance to play it probably because it's very obvious that he is a Mumu one trick because he was kicking butt with that Amumu in that practice game, man. I don't think anybody's going to let him have it again. It was nice.
That's the risk you take of naming yourself after a champion.
Right.
Yeah. A little easier to read, man, for sure. Okay, next up we've got Hearts of Diamonds, Brains of Bronze. Great team name, especially these guys. You can tell these guys aren't taking themselves too seriously, right? Like, yeah, we get it, we're bronze, but I like the team name a little bit. So in the top lane we got Bob the Tank, returning player, but he's been out for a couple of years, so glad to see him back. In the jungle we got Ancient Relic. I believe that's a newer coach Rivals. In mid lane, we got Big Bad Hand. If you've been a Coach Rivals player for any amount of time, you know him for sure. In the bot lane, we got Merlin, my previous championship compatriot. And in the support role, we've got Mather Blaster.
My
Glad to see
favorite
him.
name.
Yeah, Mather Blaster is just great, man.
Every caster loves and hates that name.
It's
the
it's one of
best.
those like 1-2 punch ones. Yeah, you kind of have to like take a breath before you say it. I like it. Okay, fourth team up in the champs tier, we've got Avoid Ed, right? Which is I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but I think that's a wordplay, kind of like a pun.
Mm-hmm. A little bit.
Not sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. In the top lane, we've got Coach Magros, right? He's definitely a name I'm familiar with. In the jungle, another one of my season 4 buddies, Zucchini. He's also a former student of mine. Glad to see him back on the Rift. Yeah, Zucchini. He played
That's
mid lane
awesome.
for my high school team. Yeah, so excited that he's back. He's back in the mix. In the mid lane, we got Lexi. I know Lexi from season 3. They subbed in for me at one point. I had COVID, and they had to sub in. That was a wild week. In the bot lane, we got PCS Device. Not familiar with PCS Device, but I did cast your practice game the other day, and definitely going to be one to watch. And in the support role, we got Lirazel. Big shout out to Aaron. I know Aaron, and I always mess up your username, so hopefully I got it right. And then final team in this tier is going to be probably my favorite team name because I happen to love Kled. It's Red Kled Redemption. Fantastic.
Awesome name.
So good.
Yeah, it's in the logo too, man. It's just so good. Top lane, we got Black Beetle 13, another former championship player, teammate of mine. We got the Saint of MN. I'm going to guess that's Minnesota. Yeah, right? Saint of Minnesota. Mid lane, we got Jubbin, who is, I believe, Jubilus back from season 2, season 3, season 4.
Yeah.
So Jubilus is back in the mix, changed his username, but we're glad to have him back. In the bot lane, we got Dr. Strangeglove, who is formerly known as Coach Gross. And he's got another username too. Yeah, so I'm forgetting it right now. But he's
Old Man Liver.
Old Man Liver. That's what it is. Yes.
That's amazing.
Such a good name. Thank you for shouting that out. Yeah, because that's fantastic. And then rounding out that roster, we have Cartera. That is the behind the scenes person, Allison. We shouted out earlier. So she's doing double duty this year. She's playing and she's behind the scenes and she's doing some other work and she's involved in everything. We love Allison.
All right, you guys. You want to head straight to Legends, or we want to talk a little bit about Champs, or we want to wrap it all up? What's the thought there, Ronnie? The teams are yours. You tell me what's the plan.
Well, I'll say one other thing about Red Clad Redemption. If you aren't aware, Black Beetle and Cartera are married. I believe that's the only married couple competing in Coach Rivals. Correct me if I'm wrong. But they're on the same team. That could be a huge asset, could be a huge detriment. You never know, right? You never know.
That was actually an honored request, because they were like, when we weren't on the same team, it was actually kind of really difficult because we would play each other and it was like, hey, we're not doing it. Like, don't put us on the same team because it's going to be really complicated on game day.
Yeah, you keep it secret.
Put us on the same day.
Comms are just crazy.
Yeah, they're like, please put us, make sure we're on the same team, because otherwise we're gonna play in the same room. So like, it's gonna be really difficult to keep that in check. So there you go. So yeah, that's the Champs. Solid logos.
Oh yeah,
they're just so good. So good.
Yeah, I also like the we have like the tiny logos for the stream too. I like, people got really creative with those too. I love that.
Yeah. Good use of creativity mixed with I think a little bit of AI, which went a long way. Some really solid homebrews, and then I think some great inspirations, and then the names are just like chef's kiss. All these are so good.
Let's hit those Legends, man. And we're for the sake of time.
Yeah,
we're gonna kind of speed this up a little bit.
Yeah, I like to talk a lot, guys. So buckle up.
Legends are in.
All right, let's just see here. You see the logos on your screen now. We're gonna just start it off, right? Kick it off. Looks like we got Gankenstein's Monsters up first. In the top lane, we got Caress. Right, 2 R's, 2 S's. I'm totally throwing that out there. That's a complete guess. Please be gentle if that was wrong. In the jungle, we have Eric29, very famous player for Coach Rivals, another former teammate of mine. Mid lane, we got Ashley Nicole. She was in the league last year, also in mid, so good to see her back. Bot lane, we got Lucas 2142. Is that?
That does not.
I think that's an English teacher. Is that an English teacher?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I'm pretty sure that's not. Oh. Yeah, that's English teacher. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, coming out with sleeper name.
Back.
Ooh.
Yeah, English teacher. Trying to throw everybody off the trail. And in the support role, we've got another newcomer. This is HS Esports Coach Smith. No, that's not a newcomer, is it? No, that's up though. She's also trying to sneak in. 100%, bro. These are a couple of people who changed their usernames.
Trying to throw off the scouting reports.
Man, see, you're making my job harder too. Okay, next up we have probably one of the best team names. If you guys are new to Coach Rivals, when teams get loaded in, they all get like placeholder team names. This year they all got colors. This team decided they're going to keep their color and turn it up to 11. So the team name is the Green Team. Love it. Yeah.
Clever.
In the top, yeah, I know, right? Like, what else can you say? In the top lane, we have Pathfinder, another former student of mine. Glad to see Pathfinder back in the mix. Notorious for getting those solo kills up in the top lane. In the jungle, we've got Mr. Hernandez Teaches, fellow Texas coach. I'm no longer a Texas coach, but former Texas anyway. Mid lane, we got Coach Keru. I'm not familiar with Coach Keru, so welcome if you're new, and if you're not, I apologize. In the bot lane, we got Frack7789. Is it Fracker? Maybe
Frack?
that sounds
Maybe,
like
I think
It's Fracker. Fracker. I think it's Fracker. Yeah.
yeah, that sounds like a cuss word, guys. I'm gonna have a hard time with that one. All right. And then last up for support, we got familiar face Chad in the mix. Love seeing Chad on the Rift. See if he busts out that Pike again this year.
And permaband.
You know, I guess it's going to see the light of day. He played a different role last year, so who knows, right? I might have just exposed him. Next up, we've got Grub Dub Dub. Love this team name. Playing on the new top lane mechanic, the Grubs. Looks like in the top lane we got Coach Dubs. In the jungle we got Chicas. Both names I'm familiar with. Mid lane Xander Allen. That's got to be Key Kitty Key if I'm not mistaken. And love seeing Xander back on the Rift. We've casted a few games together too. Love that guy. ADC, we got a newbie, Mr. Player 2. He's been really active in the Coach Rivals Discord. Love to see him involved in the tournament. And for the support role, they got Coach Gliz, who I believe is another new player. So welcome to those 5. Next up, we got, oh man, 1 buff, 2 buff, red buff, blue buff. I'm going to find a way to shorten that on stream where it just comes out like buff or something like that. You know, it's going to come out really quick. I don't know, but I am familiar with a couple of these guys, so shout out on the good team name. But yeah, you guys are making this difficult for me. Top lane, we got East Phantom 22. Jungle, we got Svi. Love seeing Svi back. He's been on Hotline League a couple times, and he's gracing us with his presence again. Thank you, Svi. In the mid lane, we got Bullet Games, a mainstay of Coach Rivals. Bullet Games been around for a minute. ADC, we got D Coulter, WCHS. Not familiar with D Coulter, but excited to have you. And then in the support role, we have Definitely Not Tommy. Love that username. I wonder what his real name is.
It's not Tommy.
Right? It makes you wonder, yeah. Why is he so concerned about you not knowing? Yeah, he's not Tommy. All right, last up for the Legends rosters, we've got the Face Checkers. Great team name. Yeah, and you see there, that's the one with the Teemo. No words, no problem. Their team name is Face Checkers, so that's what that is. The top lane for that is Action Saxon, another returning face. In the jungle role, Bebo Bay returning to his comfort role. Bebo Bay, another former student of mine. He was on our championship roster when we won the Texas State Championship. So he's a really good player. He played top lane last year, back in the jungle role this year. Can't wait to see him. Mid lane, we got Code Worm. ADC, I'm not familiar with this guy.
Yeah, I think this is a new player.
Yeah, I might be pronouncing that wrong. Not familiar.
Sounds like a scrub.
Do some background checks.
Yeah. Some scrub, man. I don't know how they let this bronze player into this tier. I'm kidding, obviously.
Brutal.
Justin's the man. And then dude, I'm just kidding. The support player for this team is Coach Faust. I believe Coach Faust had another username before. It seems familiar to me.
I think we got a lot of alts.
It's the Eras tour.
The Eras tour.
The Taylor Swift summoner name.
I see. Okay, and that.
Look, I have an idea.
All 5 of them. Yeah, go ahead.
I have an idea for your 1 buff, 2 buff, red buff, blue buff. If it's like buff to the 4th power, and any like math teachers that are listening can correct me here, but isn't like something to the 4th like a quartic?
Oh.
So you could say buff quartic, like buff to the 4th. I don't know.
Dang, you just pulled out Quartic? That's crazy.
I actually Googled it.
There you go.
Okay.
Nice.
Yes.
And he admits it. What a gentleman.
I was about to bully you a little bit, I think. I don't know.
I know, right? Nerd.
I had to be honest. So, but yeah, those are all of our teams along with the rosters. So, Ronnie, I appreciate you giving us the rundown and introducing all the players. And you did a fantastic job with the pronunciation. I must say, I really don't think either of the 3 of us would have done any better. So, to wrap up Rift Happens, as we get fully geared up for the matches that are going to be streaming tonight, we're going to take it over and let Drake hit us with some viewer questions, because earlier this week, if you were paying attention to the Coach Rivals Discord, you would have seen a Google form drop there with 3 extremely important questions in that form for you to fill out and get your thoughts read aloud on Rift Happens to be immortalized on the internet forever. So,
Yes.
Drake, what was in the mailbag this week?
Yeah, so we'll start off with our first question, which was, what are you looking forward to most this season of CR? And, we got some good responses. I'm going to kind of list up, for the sake of brevity, I'll keep it short. First one I see here is getting revenge on Eric for beating me 3 seasons ago. So I think this could be a lot of people's thing looking forward to most.
That could be anybody.
I think everyone can relate to that. Is losing to Eric. Well, not me, but
30 responses, 2 answers.
That's a big one. A lot of answers I see here kind of a similar vein is getting to hang out with the great people on the server and looking forward to just having a good time practicing. A lot of people say that. That's a big thing about Coach Rivals, is get to make new friends. So huge shout out there. Look at here. Someone put harassing Drake Prime. That's not very cool. Moving on. Next question we have: which champion will be the highest pick ban rate for CR this season? And there is one answer that stood apart from the rest of them. That answer is Brand. Brand is our highest voted pick ban this year. Now,
I'm going to agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a great pick.
It's pretty funny. You look at this, it's like there's 11 answers, and it's just 10 of the same answers, and someone voted Brand twice. So just super even across the field. Move on to the next one, and it's what champion you believe will have the most deaths by the end of CR. And so, I'm not going to say the answer. What do you guys think the answer is? What's your opinion of the champion who had the most deaths this season?
Oof.
I think it's going to be Ari.
I'm going to say
I was going to say if Ari goes through, it's just going to be everybody trying to just
get her.
delete Ari. Justin,
even better would be if they showed up with the $500 skin. Like I'm waiting for some baller coach to show up with the immortalized legend or whatever.
And then go like 0-13. That's my dream. It shows up with the faker skin and then just goes like 0-13, rage quits. Oh, that's what I want to see happen.
Yeah, so I think Ari's a good one. My vote's going to be Nautilus because I think like at Worlds 2 years ago, I think it was the Nautilus Death Fund that everybody was rooting for, and Nautilus is he's a great support to not terrible to blind pick, point and click CC on the Fed member of the enemy team, and I think it's a safe support pick. But once you're in, and so he tends to die quite a bit.
I mean, if Timo gets through at least once,
that
will
the answer.
Be the most dead.
I think everybody in this league has enough self-respect to not pick Timo.
That's why I don't play anymore.
Well, our number one answer by a whole 2 votes is Jinx. Jinx was voted the highest predicted death total.
We'll report back.
So move on to our last question.
Yeah.
Or maybe the RRK fans, they just cheer for the cops.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. All Caitlyn fans.
So moving on to our last question, we kind of asked, open the floor. You have any questions for us? Most of them are just asking for our predictions, which we're not. It's too early. All these teams are just so even. We just can't. It's even playing field. It's just impossible for us to choose. Right, guys?
Exactly.
No, yeah, so perfect.
Yep.
So what I say here is, what's your favorite CR memory? Justin, let's start with you. When you think back to the history of your illustrious career playing in CR, what's the number one?
Number one is going to be when I locked in Sivir for a game, and the flavor of the month that season was Lethality Dark Harvest Sivir, where you could just basically blow up and one-shot the backline with 1 Q. But that particular game, I went attack speed crit Sivir, and I remember we had a Fiora just staring down our Nexus, and I had spawned just in time, and the Fiora came through, and I was able to hold off the onslaught there, and our team came back and won. I'll always remember that.
Some say that Decker guy is still pissed to this day. I remember that. That was a great game. That was when they just released Hullbreaker. or hole breacher, whatever the item is called. They just released it.
Yeah.
We're like, man, what's the big deal? And next thing you know, we're four people on death timers. There's a Fior who's like 13-4 coming down, but they weren't ready for the Neshama. Classic memory. Remember, you had a pretty sick mid lane of the game playing Seraphine. It's pretty crazy. Anyway, Ronnie. Come on, what's your go-to memory? Number one memory of Coach Rivals.
Okay, this is going to be controversial. Last year, Eric was on my team, right? I got blessed to have the winningest player in Coach Rivals history, right? Eric never loses, except this one game that we played last year against Fee's team when we lost. Bro, and that was against Justin. He was like their mole. He was on the other team. He knew how to read us like a book. And like genuinely everybody's won with Eric, you know? Like guy never loses. But I've been on the only team that Eric has ever lost a game with. That's a memory.
And some say Eric is still pissed today.
He couldn't carry us, bro. He couldn't carry us in that game. That's all I have to say.
His shoulders were tired.
Yeah.
That's a classic. I would love to be in that room with Eric just to see him probably punching the wall.
Oh man, he was mad.
That's awesome.
100% after the game. I know, like someone in the chat was like, "Was that your first L?" And he was like, "Yes."
Ever.
Look,
Yeah.
we ended up. That was the highlight of the night. I was subbing for that team that night,
Yeah.
and I remember like I was told, I was like, we were like over halfway through the game. I was like, listen, hey guys, like y'all are about to give Eric his first loss. And that's where like, oh, we got to do this. Like everybody's hyped up, and the
You just feel like the room just changed. The game just like everybody's locked in for a second.
Wow.
CS 10 a
everybody was
minute.
hard
Just
sweating after that.
perfect. Everyone's buying blue wards. Like it's over. It's like there is nothing going to happen in this game.
It's good stuff.
All right. Coop?
I mean, other than that, what I was talking about earlier, just getting the empathy of the student player, I would say early on we used to force everybody into roles, which I thought I hated because I wanted to be a support, but then I had to play jungle, and then I found out I really liked jungle. Then the next season I was locked into top, and I was like, what? I just understood jungle, and now I'm playing top, and found out that I really liked playing that. And so I think that just being pushed into a different like area, and then finding out that it's like, oh, it's actually, you know, it's okay to like move off into something else. You end up enjoying it. I know a lot of coaches have done that too. It's like they start somewhere, and then they either get on a team where they have to fill a role, or they just kind of like bite the bullet and they take on another role, and they turn out they're like, nope, that's me. I'm a jungle main now, or I'm a mid main now. And it's part of that, just like, I don't know, that element is probably my favorite. Those couple seasons of just, you know, being pushed out of my support comfort zone, and kind of finding out the rest of the rift, and then yeah, so there you go. And then, you know, that led to playing Teemo, so there you go.
Oh. Comes back.
He's a great champ.
Yeah, that's something. Well,
What about you, Jake?
surrounded it- Ooh. I'm going to cheat. My favorite memory, I'm going to say, is more or less an all-encompassing idea of Coach Rivals, and it's going back to where I first started. I guess it's 4 years ago. You know, didn't know anybody, knew the space. I got invited by Psychology to come in because one of the players on the team apparently didn't know the commitment, and so he backed out. Started desperately looking for someone, and he reached out and was like, "Hey, you know, you help us out. The school, we need you to play." So I was like, "Heck yeah, dude! You need someone who sucks at League? I'm your guy." So I hop in. It was pretty nerve-wracking playing with, you know, I was on a team with Eric, Justin, Coach Macros, and Danielle, and it's pretty intimidating. You know, being on a team with Eric and Justin, who are just alpha chads. Justin over here just like basically had that nice sultry dad voice who was just like telling me what to do. Eric was getting mad because I wasn't doing anything right, and you know, eventually as we kind of got together and the games played, we kind of started working together. It just kind of turned this whole almost like a, you know, I call it a bond, like a family thing. And by the end of the season, like, just we were good friends at the end of it, or making jokes. I was looking forward to it, and it kind of went to the next season, right? And every season I've played, kind of had that same feeling of like, there's this moment you join in, you don't know anybody really, maybe you know one or two people, but everyone's just awesome. Environment's great. You get to have fun with people, get to meet people, and that's what it's all about. And I mean, it's kind of a cheat answer, but that's definitely like my favorite memory from it. It's just getting to know all these people and be in the situation we are now.
There you go.
Yeah, awesome. Well, Drake, is that it for the viewer mailbag?
So we're running out of time, so I'm at this one question here that I think has to be answered, and it comes in. I'm going to assume from Eric29, and it says, "How is the commissioner so handsome?" And I'm going to take this time to answer this. The answer is I shower twice a day. No. It's 2 showers a day. Only wash my hair once. Very important. But I can wash it once, condition the other one, and then pretty nifty. So you keep your hair moisturized that way. Brush my teeth twice a day, a big thing, and then it's after that it's just a God-given looks. That's all I can say. And follow up to that is it told to name my firstborn Primetime or Drake? And I think either one works. I think naming a kid Primetime is more of a middle name.
I think that's right.
So I think like Drake Primetime Welch. I think it's a good one, and so I think if you did some finagling, you can fit both in if you try hard enough with your kid. But either one works. But no, that's our questions for this week.
There you
go. Awesome. Those are great, man. I really don't think we could top that. That's the best way to really end this episode as we're going into tossing it over to the casters who are going to start taking over tonight, introduce the matchups that are going to be going on tonight. So we should have 2 matches streamed tonight. That should be the schedule for every Thursday. You get a little bit of Champions action, a little bit of Legends action, and then keep your eyes peeled on the Discord for any B streams that may be coming up. And keep an eye on the Discord for viewer questions for next week. So for all of my fellow panelists here, for Ronnie, for Drake, for Coop, we thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us while you're getting geared up and ready to watch some awesome action tonight. I'm Justin. Y'all have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, Justin, for tossing it over to us. So
we did.
A little bit
we're
of an
here.
Awkward transition there, but yeah, we're here. So these faces look a little familiar. I must say, Ronnie, those panelists for Rift Happens, it's a pretty handsome bunch of gentlemen.
Yeah, it's I gotta say, man, all love to those 4 men. I don't know who they were, but yeah, definitely got some GQ action in the building. Yeah, shout out to those 4 guys. We'll probably never see them again. Yeah, excited to be here with you tonight, though, Justin. Bring you guys some League of Legends action.
Awesome. Yeah. So just to kind of touch everybody up,
Justin, I think
apparently my audio's
your audio isn't working.
On.
We're gonna troubleshoot live on air, guys, because we are professionals. I'll see. Now I'm not getting any audio from you. Maybe. Oh yeah, because we're doing the browser thing, so I bet it's like messing you up until you reload. Oh no, he's frozen. Justin, he's trapped. He's trapped in the internet. Okay, don't worry, guys. We've got a plan. Yeah, so what we're gonna do real quick while we're troubleshooting is we're gonna pull up our head-to-head graphic for tonight. I think Justin's back with us anyway, but no, still no audio. Oh, bummer. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull up the head-to-head graphic for tonight's Champs Tier team. We have 2. Is Shake That Ashe versus Avoided. If you guys missed our primer episode just before this aired, make sure you go back and watch it because we do a quick Rift Happens recap of all the teams and all of the players involved on each roster. So you're getting a look at just 2 of these rosters right now, but there's a lot more action to come tonight. Scoop. Okay. Justin was fine the whole time, apparently, guys. And so what we're looking at here is our head-to-head matchup between these 2 champ tier teams. Quick reminder for anybody who isn't aware, Champions tier is these are all going to be players ranked iron to high silver. So basically like below gold level, which is what I am personally. So I can speak to that. Really excited to see both of these teams take each other on in this. Should be a pretty competitive head-to-head matchup. What do you think, Justin?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Oh, your sultry voice.
All right. All right. Ronnie can hear me. I'm hoping that everybody else can hear me. But yeah, thank you so much for taking over those duties. I mean, this is Coach Rivals in a nutshell. We figured it out on the fly and we really make it work. But I didn't catch any of your preview, but I'm trusting that it was incredible. I am sure that you talked about the bottom lane duo powerhouse of Blue Sai and Loki Doki coming in from 2 seasons ago. They were paired up on Valhalla back, which I'm proudly representing their jersey there. So excited to see that duo back. I believe they were separated last season. And then looking across the rift, I think Magros is really going to be a staple in that top lane. Likes to play a lot of tanks. He's very much team oriented in that top lane, but also Lexi has been really good in mid lane, really solid. Played in one of the learning leagues like 2 seasons ago, a lot of Ari, and absolutely dominated the stats. So I think with the familiarity of teammates on Shake That Ash versus just the raw talent that we see over on Avoided of people being able to shine it. Of course, we have great members on both sides of it. So not to make one shine over the other, but
Lost Justin as you were
banning the Yorick, which you definitely don't want to see in that top lane. 4 teams that are kind of maybe new to playing each other, a lot less coordinated, because that Yorick can cause a lot of havoc on the split push.
Yeah, man. And then we see it too. We called out the. I had streamed a couple practice matches earlier, and we got a preview of what some of these teams are going to play. And Brand was present in just about every single series, champ tier, legends tier. So I kind of expected a Brand ban, and no surprise there. It's the first one off the board from Avoided right after the Yorick ban that you called out. And we see a couple more come off, some comfort picks for a few players, getting rid of, looks like a couple target bans at the bot lane from Shake That Ash. So they're taking away a couple champs from Avoided's bot lane pool. And we get the last ban coming up right here before we get to see some picks come through. What are your predictions, Justin?
Yeah, so I really like the band. I was going to say the band brand, the brand band.
Yeah. See, I did it too.
Played, mid, support, and jungle right now. So we're going to see him in a lot of different roles. I think he's going to be flexed all throughout the season. That was even a prediction in the viewer questions that they think Brand's going to die the most. The Lux band targeting Lyrazel, and then the Misfortune going after PCS Device. I was able to watch a scrim, and PCS Device had some killer Misfortune ultimates. So I think those are really smart takeaways there. The Nico ban and the Master Yi ban. I know Saikaze is definitely dangerous in the jungle. So getting rid of that pick that could just absolutely destroy a game later on is smart. But as we're seeing these first picks come through, I think Seraphine, a fantastic, safe first pick, definitely great in the support role. Possibly flexed in the mid, maybe even a kind of an APC Seraphine pick in the bot lane. But the Kane is what really surprises me as a first pick Kane on the side of Avoided.
Yeah, same. I think I made a face when that lock-in came. It's like, holy crap, that is a call your shot type of moment on that pick. So, a couple confident picks coming out here for Avoided. And then we got the Justin special on the other side with the Seraphine Sivir back-to-back. Those are 2 of your comforts, man. Next we see Zillion. I'm going to be convinced that you're actually pulling the strings behind the scenes here.
Yeah, so I like the Sivir pick. Sivir is great for wave clear, and even with the Seraphine with the speed boost of the Sivir, and then the speed boost with the Seraphine from the W. Then you pair the Seraphine ultimate with the Vi ultimate because it travels even further. It's still really solid team fight comp already built here for Shake That Ash. And then on the other side with Avoided, what I really like here is you have these 2 massive tower destroyers. If Ziggs and Tristana are left alone, let's say, avoided aces shake that Ashe and it leaves Ziggs and Tristana still on the map, you're instantly losing 2 towers right there. I mean, it could still be relatively early in the game, and those are going to be going down early because of how much damage those 2 champions do to towers. So we really have 2 solid, very solidly different team comps coming out from both of these teams.
Yeah, no, definitely big call out. I like the call out on the double turret destruction kind of combo they got going there. I wonder what lane. I mean, we're typically going to see Ziggs mid, Tristana bot, but those can kind of be flexed, I guess. We've seen Ziggs bot before, and Tristana mid's pretty popular in pro play, so I wouldn't be surprised to see one of our coaches feel a little confident, maybe feeling themselves tonight, and they played ADC mid. Who knows? We do see a couple more jungle bans come out. In fact, all of these are jungle bans here in the back half. We got Trundle, Diana, Nocturne, and one to go. Mordekaiser, not really a jungle ban, but yeah, quite a bit of target on the jungle picks here right at the end of this draft before we get our final 4 picks in.
I'm interested in the Nocturne and Diana bans. I'm wondering if they know something about that Vi pick, possibly not going jungle in their scouting, maybe seeing if Nightwolf likes to play a top lane Vi or Coyote likes to play a mid lane Vi potentially. Sure. And so they're thinking that the jungler pick is not there yet. But even the Trundle and the Mordekaiser bans show me that they kind of want to play tank in that top lane. So there it is. There's the Myfight coming out. The Volibear answered by Avoided in the top, and then a Vex in the middle. So it is a Vi jungle, but that may be something to look at in the future. Or maybe maybe somebody plays a mid lane Nocturne.
yeah. Maybe they didn't want to deal with the mid lane Nocturne, mid lane Diana. Who knows, right? Like some of our coaches have some of the most unique meta picks. Like I said, we kind of create our own meta in this Coach Rivals universe here. Especially in the Champs tier games, because like I mentioned at the top of the cast, these are all players who are like Iron, Bronze, Silver. And if you know anything about those tiers, right, I play in those tiers every season. I never make it out of Bronze because, it gets pretty wild down there. So, you got to kind of keep your wits about you and make sure that you're aware of some of these things that maybe you're not expecting, right? So who knows, right? Maybe we'll see a mid lane Vi at some point. I like both teams' drafts overall, though, to be honest. And it actually looks like we get an Ahri as the last pick for Avoided. So the Ziggs, Tristana mid lane thing we were talking about ends up they were both wrong. I think that's probably an Ahri mid. So really interesting kind of rounding out of the draft there for Team Avoided. I can't wait to see where all these champions go because I still don't know actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm perplexed. I really am, but it's fun. We really like to see. People will say off meta picks or wacky picks. I think this is just fun. It could be a support Ahri. I fully expect Lexi actually to be taking the Ahri mid just because he dominated stat lines 2 seasons ago with the Ahri, and perhaps this is just we're gonna run you down with our bot lane duo of Tristana and Ziggs. Now, my fear with the Ziggs, if it's a Ziggs support, would be the how mana hungry he can be. He's not going to have necessarily the income to be able to have that mana regen, with like a Doran's Ring or something, and lasting minions and all that stuff. So I don't think they're going to have a lot of kill pressure necessarily in the bot lane, but as long as they can survive the laning fades, it's going to be pretty brutal beyond that for sure. So what about overall, like shake out Ashe? Go ahead.
I gotta say real quick also one more thing about Avoided. If that is a Ziggs support, man, that is the Lyrazel special, right? Like she is the quote unquote greediest support in the Champs tier. So I would love to see something really fun like that from her, right? Like maybe a Ziggs support, maybe it's an Ahri support, who knows, right? Shoot, it could be a Volibear support, right? He's got a slow and a stun, who knows, right? Probably not, but I'm really curious to see what happens there. But yeah, on the other side, these are pretty clear, right? It's obvious where most of these picks are going. Just really kind of excited to see how these guys do. Right, like you mentioned, that bot lane duo reuniting from a couple of years ago. Seraphine definitely a comfort pick for Loki Doki. Surprised actually, I didn't see the. She plays a lot of Zyra, actually, if I'm not mistaken, and that was left up. So preferring the Seraphine over the Zyra, pretty interesting, I'd say. I'd love to see it because a couple seasons ago, I know Loki was looking to expand their champ pool and played a ton of Zyra, and now you look, it's not even something that she's worried about picking, right? They first pick something else. So really excited about seeing how that bot lane duo plays out for sure. And then we have a couple other kind of comfort picks here. I believe I saw Nightwolf, formerly known as C. Taylor. He was playing Malphite in his practice game just the other day. He looked really good on it. So back on Malphite duty, kind of a stalwart in the top lane doing his thing. So he should be really good up there. And we'll have to see how the other lanes play out. And I think the most interesting matchup is going to be this jungle matchup. And that's because I know Saikaze, great dude, right? Plays a ton of jungle. He's been playing for years. He's in coach rivals every year. On the other side of the rift is my former student Zucchini, who is an insane person, right? He's kind of a little unhinged. So that's why the Kane pick getting locked in first made a little bit of sense to me because he does some pretty crazy stuff like that occasionally. So we'll see how it holds up against Vi, man. I'm really excited to see how he does. Glad to have him back in the league.
Yeah. So one thing I will point out too is double unstoppable ults for Shake That Ashe between the Vi and the Malphite. So a ton of dive power just with those two. But then you also pair the Vex, so not pair, you add the Vex into that, kind of trio. If the Vex ult connects, you've got another dive in that is also not going to be interrupted. I think she's just untargetable, I believe, in her ult. So it's interesting, the two contrasts between these two teams. Like we have a full-blown, we are absolutely diving with Shake That Ashe, and then Avoided a lot more skirmish, scrappy. Kane is going to be definitely turning into this kind of late game assassin, going through the walls. You've got to ward very carefully for him. Ari, a lot of single target pickoff, and then you have the Ziggs and Tristana doing the turret pressure. So both of these teams looking to play two absolutely totally different styles. I think if all things go even, then I like Shake That Ashe's chances, just because if as long as Avoided isn't steamrolling the game, Shake That Ashe has a very simple press R and win comp. It's you press R, everybody's running in. You can easily close the distance with the Sivir R. Once Vi ults, you can Seraphine ult over, feed through everybody. Malphite can ult too and extend it. I mean, it's just you press R, you win. Avoided, the macro game is going to be really, really important, especially in that mid game. And then when late game rolls around, one ace, they win the game. They instantly take multiple towers. So definitely going to be an interesting matchup. And we are heading into the Rift. Everybody celebrate. Let's throw up the emotes in the chat. We are in game, the very first match of Coach Rivals season 2024. And we are not looking at a 5-point stance here from Shake That Ashe. It looks like they are kind of overloading that river, that bot side river, watching for anything there. But everybody else on Avoided is doing standard 5 points. So no level 1 shenanigans, Ronnie. Nothing crazy this time.
Oh, man. First game of the season, technically, I guess second game because we had a reschedule and someone already played on Tuesday. But first stream game of the season, I was hoping level 1 would come out and start swinging at each other. Because I'm a prototypical bronze player. I don't know anything except kill. So I was hoping we'd get to see some level 1 craziness, but all the same, everybody's starting off a little safer, right? Nobody wants to blow their whole season here in the first 5 minutes of game one. So totally understand playing it safe here and just starting off standard lanes and all that good stuff. So we do actually get to finally see the reveal. PCS Device playing Tristana, Lyrazel playing some Ziggs, and that's kind of what I was hoping, because Lyrazel is the greediest support in Champs tier, so that's just gonna leave it at that.
Also, yeah, and I am curious too, as we saw Magros handily winning a trade there on the top side of the map. Interested to see if he's going to go the new Dark Tech Volibear build with Rod of Ages plus Navori Flicker Blades, where he's basically has no cooldowns. So it'll be interested to see if that comes out. Leashless start for Kane. Of course, he could start as chickens there, have no problem there. Lexi taking a lot of damage and kind of in the danger zone there. Magros playing this, but we have an Ignite dropping down in the bot lane. We have ticking on the Ahri. I believe Ahri is going to survive. Potions are chugged, and they're going to survive, but that is going to be definitely a lot of minions lost there to mid lane. So Kane Zucchini is switching around. So we have another trade in the top lane, and that's going to be First Blood actually going over to Magros. So I apologize. There's just so much action going on in every single lane. It's hard to know what's going on, but we've got Blood Drawn, and then Vi looks like already flash queued in onto Magros. He's trying to run away. He does flash. That should gain enough distance. I'm going to breathe a little bit. Ronnie, what do you make so far in this early game action?
Let's go, bronze play, baby. I love these games. Like, I love seeing people just swing, man. And, 3.5 minutes into the game, we've already got mids flashes blown, top, jungle. We got several players involved in some early fights, and none of them were Zucchini, which is crazy because that's exactly what Kane wants to do early in the game. So we'll see when we see our first Kane gank. So far, it's just been a lot of, laners kind of just saying, get away from me. I don't want to deal with it. And here we go. We may actually see our first Zucchini gank of the game. He's just kind of chilling, waiting for the moment. And yeah, here he goes.
Yeah, so we've had 7 summoner spells burned within the first 3.5 minutes of the matchup. The Zucchini gank, unfortunately, not coming to fruition. This is going to be an issue with that bot lane, I believe everyone avoided, the lack of CC. And Kane, doesn't have CC really himself until he gets that knock-up on his, I believe it's his W. So until then, he really needs a lot of setup, and unfortunately, there's not going to be much setup in that lane. I think he may be better off ganking mid or even top, but some more trading going on in the top lane. Magros does have that level advantage onto Nightwolf, so Nightwolf being chunked to below half health. Looks like he's going to scamper away. More trading in the mid lane. Coyote getting Lexi extremely low, down to looks like sub 200 HP, but Lexi able to clean up a little bit of farm.
Yeah, still holding the flash as well. So nerves of steel there from Lexi, not flinching in that mid lane matchup. We do see another gank here in this top lane. Looks like this is just a solo endeavor though. No assistance from Nightwolf on this. He's just kind of chilling. Looks like he's got a different priority for recalling right now. Very low on health, and Sakazi's going to realize, hey man, I can't kill this bear. He's crazy. So everybody walks away.
Yeah, had some alcove gaming going on there. Had the dance back around across the wall there. So well played from Magros, being able to keep that distance between himself and Saikazi. Waste a lot of time there. And now you see Magros tick over to 6. He is the first player to hit level 6 on the Rift for this matchup. So look for those Volibear ults to come out, shut off the tower. Maybe have some tower dives coming to assist the Kane and getting some of those kills and get the Kane rolling. But, Ronnie, after that first blood, it's been relatively, a little some scraps back and forth, but I'm surprised we haven't had any more bloodshed.
Yeah, right. All of a sudden got a little quiet out here. But I love the call out just now on Magros hitting 6. Got to say, man, I played against Magros a few times. Never had the pleasure of having him on my team. That guy knows how to farm, man. Every time my team ended up going up against him. It was like, man, how is he already level 6? How does he have a 20 CS lead? What's this guy doing? And here he goes again, man, starting off the season exactly how we wanted to, I'm sure, right? 1-0, got a 20 CS lead currently, doing pretty well, highest level in the game. And, definitely helping his team put themselves in a good position early in this one. But, really only about a 400 gold lead between both teams. It's not anything too big. That's just a ruby crystal, basically. So nothing too significant there just yet. But as we see some of the players approach level 6, we may see another little bit of action here. Flashes start to come off cooldown, and all of a sudden we get some confidence again. See who makes the first move.
Yeah, for sure. And during all of that, we did see Kane help or get help from Magros with that top lane pressure that he has. So he had the first ult from Kai to go through. It does connect. It does follow through. The Ignite drops down again. Lexi is again going to scamper away with less
single-digit health.
And another fight in the bot lane. These are both level 5 duos going back and forth. They're going to survive as well. But Kane and Volibear were able to secure the grubs for Avoided thanks to that pressure that Magros has in the top lane. So they have secured 3 grubs for themselves. Just to remind everybody, it does take 4 to start spawning a grub, and then you get all 6. Then you get more grubbies to help you with tower taking. So that's going to be even better for the Tristana and Ziggs with that tower pushing. And as a trade there to help equalize all that, we're going to have Shake That Ashe taking the Drake. This is just going to be given for free by the side of Avoided. So all in all, fair trade on those neutral objectives.
Yeah, man, it seems like an embarrassment of riches here in the early goings for Avoided, right? Like you said, they want to take towers already. That's exactly the point of their team comp. Well, have some grubs. They want to basically separate out some of these. Oh my gosh, I'm going to stop talking because it looks like Ari's finally got a meter maker.
Yeah. Ult in from Vi. The first ult from Vi is successful. Does finally end up dropping Lexi. He's been surviving barely in all of these skirmishes, and eventually does drop. So that's going to be, he's already lost a tower plate in that mid lane as we have an engage from Magros. There's the first Volibear ultimate coming through. Lands a little short, so Nightwolf just going to walk that out with the speed that he gets from that seismic shard. That's a terrible matchup to play into. I hate playing into Malphite. So it's got to be annoying as we see the first Kane gank coming through. And then we have Vi coming back up to Magros. The raid boss, they are coming up to take him down, and they do. They get the kill in the top lane, and it doesn't look like the Kane gank in the bottom was successful. So once again, another successful gank for Saikazi's Vi, now 0-0-2.
Yeah, man, and really not a lot of early skirmishing for the Kane. That's exactly what Kane wants to do, is kind of get a few quick fights, get some of those orbs real early, maybe get a kill if they're really lucky. But so far, just not a ton of luck.
Here, though. I think he's there we go. So now we have, at that point, they knew Kane was there, and they kind of greeted up maybe a little bit for some plates and stepped up a little bit. Zucchini was able to get behind them. And then you can pretty much say, okay, Kane, this is now you have a successful game. You don't have to worry about CC if you're cutting off their path of escape. So definitely.
Oh, and he's back for more.
We have the return gank here. Just
my goodness, he can't stay away.
Yeah, taking a little bit of some of the orbs there to hopefully get his evolve a little bit sooner. But Kane's going to go ahead and recall there, reset, and now we have Lexi just dealing with this really kind of accelerated Vex here. That harass is really powerful. The charm hits on a minion. Magros also getting ganked again. The E being called down to give him the shield is going to be super beneficial to him in these ganks, making sure that he can survive those a little bit more. But all in all, 2-2 across the rift, and Avoided only down 200 gold at this point, but Saikazi now coming through. They know they want to stop these grubs. Remember, they only need one. Yeah, they only need one more grub here. Magros coming in to help zone them off, turn this into a 3v2. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be all 6 grubs going over to Avoided.
Yeah, they chased him off. They saw Magros coming around the corner, knew that bear had his ult, was going to bring down the storm, and decided, you know what, guys, I don't want to throw our whole game on this one decision. So everybody backs away. Probably a good call because, Magros with ult is pretty scary when he lands that. And now you see Coyote flashing in, and we may see another play here where Lexi goes down. Sure enough, my goodness, they did such a good job of surviving earlier in the game, but after their flash was blown a couple minutes ago, that's 2 deaths in a row with that flash timer still down.
Yeah, for sure. And then even in that gank there from Zucchini, we have another Vi ult coming through, and this time PCS device able to flash out. The Ignite is ticking on them, but Learzel is going to be the one dropping there to Blue Side. Blue Side now sporting a almost 50 CS lead on the Sivir. Now 1-0-0. Interested to see the build coming through there. That is something I want to make sure that we're paying attention to. We do see the Rod of Ages coming through on the Volibear. Okay, so this is the kind of the new hotness with the Volibear build. So after the Rod of Ages, we should see a Navori Flicker Blade being built or bought rather from Magros. So extremely frustrating to play against. He is accelerated. So the CS lead is in the top lane for Avoided, but then in the bot lane for Shake That Ashe. So all in all, still a relatively close game.
Yeah, right. Only about 1,000 gold between these two teams, so nothing too significant. You're kind of seeing both teams accomplish what they were looking to do. Oh, we have another gank here from Zucchini. He's just all over the map right now, and Lexi ulting forward, but not enough support from Zucchini. Doesn't clear the wall there either. So luckily, no ability to punish from Coyote, but that was definitely a little dicey. I definitely think Avoided wanted that fight to go a little differently, and maybe they would have turned that into a dragon take afterwards, but. Coyote standing strong, standing tall, and still around. So now this is going to be a contested objective here, as we see like 8 players in the bottom half of the map now. My goodness.
Yeah, there's another Q flash from the Vi, goes straight on PCS device, turns the attention onto Lyrazel, but they looks like they're going to collect both of them. Kane ults in onto Coyote, is able to get out of the ultimate, can't quite get to the wall to escape. Magros going all in on Nightwolf, gets the shield, absorbs that tower shot. He's going to flash in and take a bite out of the gigantic rock, and that's going to be a trade kill in the top lane. In exchange for 3 dropping in the bottom of the map for the second Drake going over to Shake That Ashe. So I do want to point out too, when Kane went over the wall onto Coyote's Vex, Vex had the fear ready. So when when Zucchini hopped the wall to go onto the Vex, the fear kicked in, and then, of course, split up that fight a little bit, layered some more damage down onto Lexi, fired the ult forward, missed, but there's going to be another gank onto Lexi. He's definitely dropping that time. Even though he had the flash, you can't get out of that Vi ultimate. So another great gank there from Saikaze. He is now sitting at 3-0-4.
Yeah, man, there's a couple players on Shake That Ashe with bounties on their heads right now. We got Coyote and Saikaze both having quite a game here so far in the first 15 minutes. Pretty impressive, actually. And now we see we get a little bit of action around the Rift Herald. We do see Saikaze get another kill. Goes on a rampage, in fact. And Zucchini comes to try to stop this Rift Herald take, but all of his teammates are dead. Can he steal this? He does steal the Rift Herald. No way, but he doesn't get the eye. Oh, no, Zucchini. Oh, it's terrible. Hey, the steal, that's something, though. Hey,
totally worth it, though.
Yeah, plus you get to brag. Totally exactly. Like, yo. Yeah. Oh, no. We see some action in the bot lane. Again, this blue side duo is just doing work, man. Normally Sivir needs like 400 farm to be relevant, but she is doing work here in the early part of this game. Another double kill there I shouldn't say another double kill, but a double kill there for Blue Side. He's definitely feeling himself after that one.
Yeah, peep the items over on Sever. The triple dagger tech going on
Oof.
with the massive attack speed on top of Berserker Greaves. So Blue Side's like, I don't need to hit hard. I just need to hit fast. So
Yeah.
he's going all in on dagger stocks right now as another fight in the mid lane, Lexi being shut down. He's got to be careful. Coyote does have the flash, another trade in the top. We have another gank. Good grief. I can't breathe here. So the Great Fear onto the Lexi. The snipe coming through from Loki Doki on the ult. It looks like Lexi may have like dashed back into it. So
That was
a
crazy.
good pickup there. And this is now we have the game is still it's a 5,000 gold lead now. The ult drops down, tower gets shut off, and Magros is going to chase Nightwolf to the wrong side of the map.
There's no safety for Nightwolf,
sure.
man. Oh, bummer. Yeah, no, that was crazy. I was cracking up when he said the 3 dagger tech. It's like Blue Side's just freaking yeeting pizzas, man, just throwing them left and right. It's crazy. Yeah, a lot of action in this one so far. 17 minutes in, almost a kill a minute in this game. And if you remember, we had first blood at like the 3-minute mark, and then we didn't have another kill for like 5 minutes. So it has been nonstop action for the last 10. It seems like nobody's taking any of these trades for granted. Everybody's kind of going full in on this. And you see this once again, an ult coming through for Saikazi, feeling like he could take on the bear. Magros does escape, but wow, that was definitely a close one.
Yeah, for sure. And one of the things too, when you think about, even looking at the goal lead, right, 4.7K, Avoided's not out of it. I mean, again, all it takes is one team fight ace, but Zucchini is playing with fire here for sure on the wrong side of the map, invading the enemy jungle, finds 3, does get away, but there's the turret down in the top side. That's 2 turrets down. 4 Shake That Ashe or by Shake That Ashe onto Avoided, soon to be a 3rd here in the mid lane. So they are going to take out all 3 tier 1s. The ult comes through onto Loki Doki, but there's really not enough damage from the support vibe. But the Zucchini Kane is able to clear up. He's going to stay on top. Doesn't quite get enough lifesteal off of Blue Side. Blue Side is able to pick that kill. But here comes Coyote. Misses the ult, but does connect on the Q. PCS device is going to drop thanks to the Ignite. Coyote's still chasing there. Blue Side throwing in those Ricochet blades, and that is going to be Coyote grabbing the double kill, not only getting the tower in the top lane, but then rotating down to mid to help clean up that fight just in time for Dragon to spawn in 8 seconds.
Holy moly, man. Yeah, I asked for fights in this game, and I don't know that I have a direct line to the comms channel for these teams, but it seems like they heard me, and this is awesome, right? We've got just nonstop action all over the Rift, just like I called out earlier. Magros just doing his thing, always split pushing, always being a menace, making sure to make his presence felt on that 3rd of the map, and earning his team a little bit of pressure up there. Means Blue Side Loki Doki have to go answer it. They're not on other parts of the map right now. You've got them locked in that area. It does mean that, I thought that might have meant that there was going to be a contest for the Dragon, but Avoided just a little too slow on that play. And then all of a sudden, here they all come, and they take out Saikazi right after that Dragon take. So Avoided gets back on the board. Got to be feeling good about that. That's a shutdown kill on Saikazi. And it also means potentially some counter jungling, but doesn't look like Zucchini's actually going to get away with it. He's got several members of the enemy team all over him, and Zucchini pays for his greed in blood.
Yeah, for sure. Coyote just doing an amazing job with these Vex ultimates, tagging the Kane there while he's trying to get over the wall. You're not going to escape the Vex ult once it tags you. Now, Nightwolf trying to pressure Lexi out of this portion of the map. But as we hopefully have a moment here to breathe, kind of assess everything that's going on. We do see the Navori Flicker Blades coming through from Volibear in the top lane. We have an Axiom Arc and Ghost Blade on Kane. So looking to, obviously, a lot of lethality, but we have the gank here from Loki Doki in the top. Loki Doki plus Coyote. The tower's being shut off by Magros. He's looking to run away. We'll see if he can make the great escape. He's charging as fast as he can, dodges a couple of abilities, flashes the wall. Here comes Saikaze. Q's over the wall as well. Come on, Magros. Where you gonna go, buddy? And he does end up dropping right by the blue buff. So all in all, really the only objective that they could get off of that kill there, they could potentially start up the Baron, but it is risky right now with Zucchini in the area. So all in all, not a terrible death. He wasn't able to get that top tier 2, but this death could be a little bit more impactful with Nightwolf taking down Lexi. So that's going to yield a little bit more pressure in that bot lane. There is a lot of minions crashing into that bot tower.
Yeah, longest
another fight breaking out here. Zucchini dead again.
Oh, bummer, bro. Yeah, he's just not having the game he was hoping for. Meanwhile, my goodness, you look at Blue Side's farm. I think that's like 8 or 9 a minute. Blue Side is having one heck of a game on Sivir, just constantly taking out minions, taking out champions. Gets another assist right there. I mean, just Blue Side doing work this game. Having one heck of a game one here, up 2-1 in the matchup for his lane in farm, up a ton in just overall gold. Man, it's got to be feeling good.
Yeah, could we get a replay of the Saikaze gank right there in mid where he looped and was between the tier 2 and 3? It was. So we see some more scrapping going on. This game is a non-stop kind of bloodbath here. But I know we're getting some replays queued up. But we had the kill there in the mid lane. Saikaze is just a great escape artist there, able to go between the tier 2 and tier 3, able to use his Q to get out of turret range and dance between as he's going back in now. Another ult from Coyote. That's a double kill now going on to the Volibear. But the tower damage is ramped up and the shutdown goes over to Magros on the Volibear, who was already dead, but he was the last one that did damage onto the Vex. So a comedy of errors there. But either way, all in all, definitely advantage for Shake That Ashe after all is said and done.
Yeah, man, that was great. But the tower just straight bonked Coyote right at the end there. Gives up the what's that? The bounty as well. What was that, a 700 gold bounty? So, or maybe it was 6. I didn't see. But huge bounty given back over to none other than Magros, who is probably the most impactful player so far in this game for Voided. Let's see what he can do with that extra gold in his pocket. I didn't see. I believe he got the what's that? The Frozen Heart just now. Don't think he had that just before.
There's Saikaze going between the towers there. That was. Yeah. On live gameplay down there, we are going to see a contest for this 4th dragon, though. I mean, Dragon Soul is up. We have 3 dragons on the side of Shake That Ashe, so they play it really well. They instantly go in onto Zucchini, eliminate the jungler, so now there's no way for a steal to come through. Blue Side still chasing with the movement speed that he has from the Ghost as well as Sivir's passive. Just going to run everybody down. That's going to be a 3-0 for the side of Shake That Ashe. They are going to get the Mountain Soul as well, giving them the extra defenses for these team fights. This is not looking very good right now for Avoided.
Yeah, man, you called it early in when we were still looking at the draft. Shake That Ashe just gets to press R and win. And you see over and over again, just now, how that fight played out. It was Coyote ult into Loki Doki ult into Saikaze ult into Nightwolf ult, and it was just one after another there. And before you knew it, it was like everybody on the enemy team was dead, and they're gonna go ahead and also potentially get a Baron here. Okay, I thought Zucchini was gonna work a miracle again. He does not get there in time. No heroics from Zucchini in that moment, but. Yeah, definitely quite a series of events there. Shake That Ash now just over 10,000 gold in the lead. A couple bounties still. Blue Sai has not died. Blue Sai is the unflinching, the unkillable, the immortal Silver right now. And yeah, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to stop him once he hits, a couple more items here. He's just about at full build, man.
Yeah, I think he's at like 75% crit right now, if my math is correct. So he's definitely there. With the Flame Horizon is in full effect, 223 CS to the 92. Unfortunately for PCS device, anytime he shows himself on the map, he's going to be ulted by multiple champions on the side. And then here at the blue side, ultimate is popped to help with the chase down onto Magro. So 2 in the top lane. This Baron pressure being used in the mid lane, that's going to be a fear onto PCS device. The ult comes through from Coyote. That's going to be another death there. They are chasing down Magros. He is going to pop the shield on himself, but I don't think he's getting out away from this. There's just too much chase down potential from Shake That Ash. So here we now have the base opening up. The mid inhibitor is going down. They don't have any other minions left there other than that canyon. So it looks like the push may stop here, or they're going to, I think they're feeling it. I think they're going to clear out a little bit more, maybe go for the end here.
Yeah,
do
5
have the
strong,
ult
right?
Through. The charm does go through onto the Kane. That's going to be the Psychosis ult. The Kane is dropping there. They are attacking the towers. We have the Baroned up minions there doing a lot of work. The defense has to come in now for Avoided. A lot of damage. Huge chuck going in down onto PCS device and Lurizel. And that is going to be the Nexus dropping. The defense was not going to happen. Just too much damage coming through from Shake That Ash. The wallet was so large, they could just go in there and just swing it straight at the Nexus. And that's going to be a victory for blue side and Shake That Ash.
Bro, blue side. Oh my goodness. That was like the cleanest. That's exactly like every ADC's like dream game. Everyone protected him. All the ganks from Zucchini, didn't pan out. He just continued to farm up and farm up and farm up and kind of be left alone. And well, you saw it there, man. Blue Sai with nearly 250 CS, looking really clean on that first game Sivir. I don't think I remember his Sivir from previous seasons. So the fact that was as clean as it was, and he, as far as I know, isn't a Sivir main, that was pretty impressive, man.
Yeah, he is a Neela enjoyer. I know that. And when he plays Tristana, if he's actually like cosplaying as Malphite, he just jumps straight into the enemy team. So it's really cool to see him on a champion that cannot jump into a fight. He has to actually play the back line. So it was really cool. It was a good transition of style for Blue Sai. So really impressive to see as we see some replays coming through with this. I think one of the biggest difficulties for Avoided in this was the lack of CC on their team, like dedicated CC, because once you had the Sivir ult popped and you have Shake That Ash just running at you, beyond, Tristana can jump away and Ziggs can maybe, satchel charge away, but beyond that, you're going to get run down. You've got the Vi ult coming through. You've got the Malphite ult coming through. The Vex ult coming through. On top of the movement speed boost from Sivir, and then the ult coming through from Seraphine. There's just not a lot of ways to disengage from what Shake That Ash brought to the table. So, as we mentioned before, it was a conflict of styles between the two teams, and one style doesn't necessarily trump the other, but it didn't counter the other. So once one side got ahead, it was kind of like, well, what do we do? What do we do now? And unfortunately for Avoided, Shake That Ash did take that early lead. They get a lot of those early objectives. It was exciting to see the Grubs being taken because they prioritized that successfully. That's what they wanted, but they weren't able to really transition and use that because they didn't have any other lane pressure other than in that top lane from Magros.
Yeah, man, good call out on the Grubs. It's our first coach rival season with Grubs, right? So I wasn't really sure coming in how teams were going to prioritize that objective over, stacking dragons, which is kind of the traditional thing. And you see here the team that wanted to push towers realized, hey, this objective is incredibly important for our team composition and for our win condition, and they made it a big priority early and continued to just kind of motor on. During the replays there was that quick clip where three players, it's kind of a 3v3 in the bot lane, and it was like minute 9 or 10 or something, and there was only a few kills on the board, and Shake That Ashe came up with 3 kills and lost 0 players, and it felt like from that moment on it was really tough for Avoided to kind of find their way back in. A few kind of maybe stretch plays where they were, trying to make something happen, trying to get back in the game, but unfortunately just a little too far behind the pace after that big play there. I think that resulted in a dragon take immediately afterwards too. So it was definitely a really big swing from that moment. And we saw some good moments there, like the Zucchini steal on the Rift Herald and, a few other kind of highlight plays there. But unfortunately not enough from the whole squad coming together there. Like I said, it's not really able to layer their abilities quite well enough. And the win condition on the other side was just, let me press my R key, hit somebody on the enemy team, and I know somebody else will follow up, and it's a little bit easier execution. So you kind of saw it play out where they just let the wins come to them.
Yeah, I think you nailed it perfectly. It's an easy to execute comp, and that is fantastic for week 1 of the season. This is the first taste of not playing together as 5 necessarily, at least I hope not, but your first time playing as 5 in this season in the actual competitive aspect of it where the match counts, right? And having an easy to execute comp takes a lot of the pressure off. You don't have to worry necessarily about the micro movements and making sure that everything is just right. That being said, though, I do really like Avoided's comp. I think it's fun. I think that it causes a lot of those dopamine rushes of, hey, we got an ace, now we just took 2 towers. That is a fun comp to execute. It's a fun comp to play, but it's very contingent upon creating those opportunities for yourself to be able to have isolated access to the tower. So that wraps up our first champions match. Now we have a treat. We're going straight into draft for our legends matchup. So we're really excited about this one. So we have draft up and ready to go. We're going to be transitioning over to that as we have Grub taking on Gankenstein's Monsters. So 2 fantastic names here. And to remind everybody of these rosters, for Grub on blue side here, we have Drain Tank Volley in the top lane, Chicas in the jungle, Key in mid, Mr. Player 2 as in the bot lane, and the DJ for support. And over on red side for Gankenstein's Monsters, we are going to have Karis in the top lane, Eric 29 in the jungle, Ashley Nicole in mid lane, English Teacher in the bot lane, and that Supdo in the support role. So teams that with a lot of very familiar players, Ronnie, like we know about these. If anybody that was watching the pre-show through Rift Happens says there's been some name changes, by the way. Okay. So production in the ear letting us know that name changes have occurred, but that's okay. So I'm just reading off of the information that I have. But either way, if you watch the pre-show or listen to the pre-show, we did mention some of these players in there. So Eric 29 over there that is he's switching over to jungle this year, but we do have English teacher in the bot lane. Ched, you mentioned. Well, I'm sorry, that's a totally different team. But Grub Dub Dub, you mentioned Key Kitty Key.
Hey,
in
all
the
love
mid
for
lane.
Ched. That's it. Just Ched's great. Right. We're just gonna shout him out.
But he's not in this match. He's not in this match. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I love it. Yeah, no, I like it. You know, I've had the pleasure of playing with some of these players. Eric 29 being one of the most legendary, right? Everybody knows this guy. He's returning to his comfort role, so he ends up playing ADC half the time in Coach Rivals because no one likes playing ADC and no one can play it as well as he does. So he ends up getting kind of forced into that position. But his true comfort is jungle, and so we're seeing him in his comfort role. I can't wait to see what happens. We see already 3 bans targeted at Eric 29. That Rumble ban is, in fact, a jungle Rumble ban. Played a practice match the other day. Played Rumble jungle and Morgana jungle. So some unconventional picks. Eric's never afraid of pulling out some kind of crazy, never before seen kind of pick. You know, he's played Ezreal jungle before, for goodness sake. So, he's. I can't wait to see what he locks in. But that's already 3 bans against him. On the other side, Gankenstein's Monsters taking out Zach, Mordekaiser, and Aatrox. See if looks like that's going to be 3 top lane bans, kind of. So I don't know about the Zach for sure, but it does kind of strike me as one of those kind of recent new top lane meta champions. So 3 jungle bans for Grub Dub Dub, 3 top lane bans for Gankenstein's Monsters. Let's see how these picks shake out. Oh, okay, Zoe. Okay,
yeah,
I thought there was a mistake.
I do. I'm half expecting to see a Morgana pick for the jungle. I say Eric has been playing Rumble and Morgana. Those are the 2 I'm seeing a lot. The Shyvana pick actually does surprise me. I haven't really been seeing him play Shyvana. We got to keep an eye out for the Olaf jungle as well. Wouldn't surprise me if they just hold that jungle pick for the end. But looking at Grubba Dub Dub coming through the Sivir pick, so y'all start keeping track of pick ban rates now. We're 2 for 2 on Sivir picks on stream, so we'll see if we have the same success from blue side Sivir from Grubba Dub Dub in Legends match as we did in the Champions match. Another Vi lock-in coming in, so pretty similar 2 picks there. But over on the side of Gankenstein's Monsters, I like that Ashe first pick because it doesn't necessarily reveal that it's going to be ADC or support. We now know that it is going to ADC, Zoe in the mid lane, but that Lulu pick does confirm Lulu going support. Ashe is going to be in that bot lane with the Lulu. So a lot of, you get a lot of pick potential with the Ashe. You get a lot of vision scouting, shooting the hawk shot across the map. So that's turning out really well as we go into the second ban phase with Karthus dropping down. So another jungle targeted ban, another top lane targeted ban coming through from Gankenstein's Monsters with the Jax. I'm expecting, I don't know, like a Volibear ban now in the top lane coming through from Gankenstein's. Who knows? Obviously, we're going to see another. Oh, it's Riven instead. Okay, all right.
And another
jungle ban. So 5 jungle bans from Grubba Dub Dub. And then
they have their priorities, man.
This is crazy. There's the Morgana pick. So there's the jungle Morgana that is going to be coming through for Eric 29. So we will see. Top lane picks have been held. Okay, so red side is saving top lane pick as the counter pick for R5. They banned 5 top laners. So for Gankenstein's Monsters, Caress is 100% looking to get an advantageous winning matchup. We're going to see what they can bring to the table versus the Ornn, though. The Ornn, the bruiser, assassin, tank, whatever champion Ornn is. He can do all of the above.
It's crazy, man.
Ornn locked in, Braum in the bot lane, and we're going to see. We'll see what the counter pick is here.
Camille.
Whoa. All right.
Okay.
Tank shredding champion, right? You get the true damage off the Q. Yeah. So I do like the Camille into the Ornn.
Wow, that's a good call out, man. You had a couple predictions in this that came true, so I'm pretty impressed. I do have some information for everyone at home. This is game 2 of a best of 2 series. So what we do for Coach Rivals is we do game 1 of a best of 1 for our opening match, and that's our champs tier match. And then we do a best of 2 simultaneously for our Legends tier teams. So game 1 of this series happened while we were casting the other game. Right, so these teams have played each other already, and this is the second time they're hitting each other today. We're only watching this one, of course, right? So I have a little insight on some of these bands. Game 1 went to, not to spoil anything for anyone, right? But game 1 went to Gankenstein's Monsters, and it looks like Eric pulled out the Shyvana in game 1, had 32k damage, so the most in the game, and went 10-2-10. So that might be why they banned the Shyvana out, right? That might be part of the reason there. Apparently he plays Shyvana. Yeah,
Who knows?
So
who really knows?
Yeah, so there were a couple other interesting picks in that one. We didn't get to see the draft of that game, so we weren't sure what was banned. But it looks like in game 1, Caress played Gwen top. We had Lux mid for Ashley Nicole. I believe she's one of the ones that changed her username. So her username now is based Ashe Slay, which is it's going to be really fun to say. English teacher played Ashe in the last game, and it looks like he's back on Ashe duty in this game. And that Supto was on Melio. So similar kind of style champion for her with the Lulu. And then on the other side, we had Coach Gliz with the Camille. Looks like he's getting the revenge matchup here today, playing against the Camille this time around. Chicas was on Vi duty in game 1, so back on Vi duty here in game 2. Key was playing Oriana, a comfort pick for him in the mid lane. It's going to be on Ari duty this time. And then Mr. Player 2 played Caitlyn, which is the well-known kind of most powerful top tier S tier ADC at the moment. So I'm surprised no one picked it here in game 2, but it did get picked in game 1, and then Coach Dubs locked in the Morgana support for Grub Dub. And yeah, so definitely some different looks here, different priorities for both teams. Like I said, with these 5 bans for top, 5 bans for jungle, you can tell kind of what each team's win condition might have been from game 1 there, and they're both targeting that here in game 2, trying to make some adjustments. So hopefully that gives you guys a little insight back at home on a little bit about how this is playing out. What do we think about predictions here in this one? Chat, call it out. Who do you think? Who won game 1? I should say game 1 did go to Gankenstein's Monsters. Maybe I didn't say that earlier. I saw someone asking in chat. Gankenstein's Monsters did win game 1, so Grub Dub looking to tie up this series. It is a best of 2 series, so even with a 1-1 scoreline, we do just call it a draw. So there won't be a game 3 if Grub Dub wins, but they're definitely looking to pick up that game 2 win here to tie this up. What do you think, Justin, after looking at all that and considering all the stuff from game 1?
Yeah, for sure. And I can tell, Lucas, our English teacher, we chat a lot. We live kind of close by. We play disc golf. I'll tell his team if they ever go back and listen to this game. He loves to play Ashe, by the way. Y'all should always request that he play Ashe. He absolutely loves being on Ashe duty. When he and I play together, he's like, man, please give me Ashe. Doesn't matter what lane he's playing. He loves to get those getting in the action and ACs, but he's taking one for the team here, locking in the Ashe. So I do respect that. But one thing I will say about this comp over for Gankenstein's Monsters is very much a pick comp. They are looking to land picks with the Zoe single target CC, Morgana single target CC. Yeah, the Ashe. You have the Camille can ult a singular person. So, I mean, we're looking at a lot of single target picks out of Gankenstein's Monsters. You look on the other side of Grub Dub, we have something very similar to what we saw with the Shake That Ash comp. You do have the diving from the Vi. You do have the follow up with the Ornn that you can CC and just, kind of knock through everybody, and then you can run down with the Sivir. So you have a little bit more of a team fight comp. If they can actually create a lot of space for the Sivir, the Braum is able to shield, some of these vital skill shots coming through from Gankenstein's monsters. So something here that's going to be really telling, or going to be a big determining factor here for Gankenstein's monsters, is, does Camille establish dominance in this top lane? Because picks aren't necessarily easy to come by. But if you have that gigantic split push threat.
Yeah, and Caress with no flash, by the way. So they are looking to dominate this lane, to your point. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. If he can just become an unstoppable top lane threat, then it's going to force them to send multiple players over to stop the Camille, and that's going to open up the map a little bit more to catch players in transition from lane to lane, trying to cover the lane that the Camille is pushing. But then also it's going to create numbers disadvantages on the side of Rub-a-Dub-Dub, because you're going to have to send 2 people to deal with the Camille, whereas the remaining 4 players from Gankenstein's monsters can collapse onto the remaining 3. So at that point, it doesn't really matter that you're a pick comp versus a team fighting comp. We have the numbers advantage. We just have raw stats and damage advantage over you. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays. I think it really is going to boil down to, does the top lane matchup snowball in favor of the Camille? Can Coach Gliz, survive the laning phase, not get Camille, ahead? And then if we can have that moment of like parity between these two teams, I like the team fight aspect more on the side of Rub-a-Dub-Dub. So standard trading in the laning phase here for all teams. We're not seeing some crazy first blood drop down as we had in the last game. Just farming it up, take trades where you can get them. The early level 2 over for English teacher and that subdose. So they're going to start pushing this in, crash under tower, but the quick level 2 also coming through. So not a whole lot there. You don't have any sort of champion that can really capitalize on that early level 2, like a Leona to all-in dive as soon as you tick it over. It's a Lulu, mostly to try and keep the Ashe alive. But then once that Camille gets to late game, that Lulu's going to start shielding the Camille wild growth on top of that. So trading in the top lane, we already start to see Caress using that true damage to start whittle down this tank Ornn. A Drowsy hitting. There's the first sleep dropping down onto Key. Just an auto attack, but it still does some damage every time you wake up from that nightmare. More trading back and forth. Here's the first hook shot onto Coach Gliz. He's going to be just fine move forward, I think. Ronnie, you ringing a bell back there in the background, buddy?
Yeah, my cat wanted to say hi, so she came over and was like, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" And I had to pet her, so she's really sweet. She's like,
good, man.
Like 15.
My dogs are stomping around back here in the background. I'm sure they've come through as well.
Yeah, she's really old and
Awesome.
like really partial to me, so yeah, I have to indulge her when she's like, "Hey, pet me." But yeah, so we're back in it. I love seeing some of this early trading here in this bot lane as we see the game freeze all of a sudden. We love it when this happens. This happened to me just the other day when I was casting. It seemed like game 2 was hella buggy, and that holds true here again today. Thank you, Riot Games. We have, I think, our first kill, sure enough. Oh my gosh, based Ashe Slay using the flash in there to land that Q at max range. If you guys weren't aware, Zoe's Q does more damage based on the amount of distance it travels. So when those Qs come from off screen, they hit like a truck, man. And you saw it there. That's going to confirm the first kill there of the game for Gankenstein's monsters. Were several summoner spells used there too. You saw flash from Ashley. You also saw flash from Key. And it's also going to be a TP to get back into lane. So couple big ones used there. We'll see if there's any additional punishment coming through. I should also mention, we talked about it on the top of the broadcast, but I'll mention again here, Legends tier is a little different from Champs Tier. The game 1 game we saw was all players who were ranked Iron to Silver. All players in the Legends Tier games are going to be Gold and above. Some of these players are as high as like some of these guys go like Emerald and Platinum and Diamond and even higher. So definitely, anything goes in this tier. You see a lot of really crazy high tier, high level meta picks where these guys are really kind of like min-maxing the game, almost to a professional level. These are the guys that play probably more than anybody else. So expecting to see some high level League of Legends action here. And that also speaks to why maybe we aren't seeing as many of the crazy level 3, level 5 fights, and everyone's a little bit more willing to play the long game, and after the first blood, let it all kind of play out a little slower.
Yeah, for sure. And, we're already starting to see the Camille assert dominance in that top lane. We are seeing the Camille hitting level 6 first. Coach Gliz kind of playing with fire now. Level 5, the ult is available for Curtis. He doesn't quite have the ignite, but there's Eric finding Chicas in the jungle, hits the snare, or the root rather, and then Chicas is going to just kind of dash out of there. So players knowing their limits, saying, yeah, I'm not just going to take that fight. We're going to bail out of that. That's fine. You can have control of the river, especially with the pressure in the top lane. But there's the first stun coming through from the Braum passive on the English teacher. The ignite drops. Mr. Player 2 not going to continue with the chase. That Subdose still does have heal. And, of course, you have shields coming through from the Lulu as well. Meanwhile, we have the tag of Winter's Bite onto the Lulu. One more auto attack is going to secure that stun. It is not going to come through. Meanwhile, we have Grubs secured for Gankenstein monsters thanks to the Camille pressure in that top lane. Another sleep going down on the Kiki. That's going to be the ultimate, and the Q coming through from the Zoe going to secure that kill. And then another kill dropping this time onto Coach Dubs. That's going to be Based Ashley going to pick up that kill as well. So now we start to see this kill lead open up. We have a 2,000 gold lead, 3 kills to 0. And it's really only going to get a little more dangerous here. So once this pick comp starts getting ahead, it's going to take less and less to execute on those picks.
Yeah, man. We're seeing everyone start to hit level 6 now as well, and that's when the pick comps really come online. You get access to all 4 of your abilities, and all of a sudden, some crazy things happen. Yeah, we see here Chica's looking
great
for
gank here. Chica's nice going over the wall.
Here,
that's the ult. There should be enough damage there to get the Zoe. You don't need to chase. No. Her ult. She was gonna come back. We have the Q over the wall to escape, but pretty sure Eric is going to be able to secure this. Chicas on the wrong side of the map. So unfortunately, and then the steal, the snipe from English teacher. I told you he loves playing Ashe. Keep giving him Ashe, please. He loves it. And they're going to chase down
the giant arrow.
Flash is invested, but he is not going to get away. And so now we have Gankenstein's monsters now going up 5 kills to 1. They were able to secure the kill onto the Zoe. However, another 2 kills going in favor of Gankenstein's monsters, now up to a 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah, man. That was awesome. I love seeing when you could tell these guys have obviously played together a little bit. This isn't the first time they've been in a game together. It is week 1, but these guys have been teammates for a couple of weeks, and then they see the Ashe arrow just comically landing. That was so fantastic. I was expecting Eric to get that kill, and when the Ashe arrow came from off screen, it kind of threw me off. But really nice play there. And you see again, Based Ashley just doing work with these sleeps, looking to get another kill on Kiki. Does land that Q. But in the top side, Coach Gliz looking to fight back in this matchup that he should be losing. Looking decent. Oh my gosh, we have another gank here by Based Ashley. This is not the jungler, guys. This Zoe is just everywhere right now. Oh my gosh, and yeah, they're just gonna walk away. But still, that was pretty intense. You ever seen that meme, by the way, with the where it's like the two junglers meet or the two top laners meet and how that's like different and stuff. I love that because like when you saw Eric and Chicas meet each other, they both were kind of just like, get away from me. And, like junglers don't want to see each other during the game basically the entire time. So that was kind of hilarious to me when they saw each other and immediately ran the other way.
So one thing that's really interesting about this top lane matchup is, yes, the Camille does have the advantage of that true damage onto the Ornn, had the early advantage, has the early CS lead, but now you can see what the Ornn can do. Knocking him out of the hook shot. He has flash and he's going to bonk it. That's going to be the solo bolo from Coach Gliz onto Caress. The Ornn killing the Camille. That is amazing. That is huge for Rub-a-Dub-Dub. Unfortunately, he does drop to Eric, but the silver lining, as we see another Chica's ult drop down, they're going to get a double Q here in the bot lane. That is a shutdown going over to Mr. Player 2. But the silver lining in that top side is that the Ornn is kind of holding steady there in that top lane. The Camille isn't this gigantic 1v1 killer threat at the moment. There's still potential, but the Ornn has done his job, right? Ornn is surviving the lane phase, didn't give a kill over to the Camille. Yes, died to a gank shortly after, but is able to get the Bomby Cinder, able to get 2 armor items already in the cloth armor and the chain vest. So that's going to be extremely helpful to, again, help keep this Camille at bay, prevent the split push threat. Now they just need to worry about all these picks that are coming through. And as we saw earlier, you don't really want to fight in the jungle. You don't want to scrap in the jungle versus Gankenstein's monsters. When you start doing that, you're narrowing your lanes of escape from those Ashe arrows. It made it super easy for English teacher to hit that Ashe arrow in that bot jungle fight because you're fighting in those narrow corridors of the jungle. You can't really sidestep the Ashe arrows in there. So you want to keep things to the lane. You want to keep a lot of wards up as we have another sleep dropping down on Kiki, and that's going to be a Zoe Q dropping him from 50% to 0. There's another trade in the top lane. Coach Gliz, this time not knocking him out, but the ult is coming through. That is going to be another solo kill. The Ornn onto the Camille. Great job,
How
Coach Gliz.
How is that a tank? I don't understand,
he's
bro.
The tank bruiser assassin.
That's insane. Yeah, based Ashley probably never getting to see Zoe again after this game. Having one heck of a game 2 here. Really just dominating this first 12 minutes of this game. Kiki not having a good time here, 0-5-0. Gotta hope he can turn that around. I know Xander, a really gritty player. He's definitely going to dig deep and see if he can find something in the tank there to get back in this game. We do see a double root stun there going down where English teacher and Eric do a really good job of layering their CC. This fight's not over, though. This is a 1-for-1 so far, and now it's just support and jungle versus support and jungle, and everybody wants to leave.
They're chasing down Eric. We have still more shields coming through from that Subto. We did have both ADCs drop. The fight's not quite over yet, but we have low mana on the Morgana, so I think we're just going to handshake and say, all right, we're out of here. You can, we can all just go our separate ways as we have another brawl up here in the top lane. Coach Gliz, again, still holding his own. We see the true damage, though, still coming through. If Camille's able to start connecting on those Qs and feel comfortable enough, you do see the tactical sweeps coming through. Earlier in the laning phase, you were going to see Ornn step forward into the Camille, still eat a little bit of damage from the tac sweep, but if you're not being connected by that outer band, then she's not healing. So being able to prevent the heal on the Camille is going to help give you those favorable trade patterns. They interrupted. There's going to be the ignite down, but the turret shot is not going to make it a 1-for-1. Was that a level up that came through on the Camille, or was that a triumph proc? Something gave the heal there. My brain didn't calculate it fast enough, but they did get the heal in return of it. So that is going to be a 1-for-1 this time in favor of the Camille as we have more trading in the bot lane. I did what you mentioned, Key. Right now, 0-5. I think the hope right now, honestly, get bot lane in the mid lane, and once
Mm-hmm.
one of these side lane towers go down, get Ari in a side lane to just farm up. It's not ideal. You want the Ari to be ahead to be able to assassinate. We're going to take a look at that replay in the top lane. The tack sweep gets the heal. There's the ult. Yeah, just the level
Fair
up.
enough.
The kill gave the level up.
Level 10 to 11.
And gave
Wow,
him enough stats
that's crazy.
to survive. That's crazy.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Caress, that was intentional. You know, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think they were calling their shot. Exactly. That was a calculated move. They're like, you know what? If I kill Ornn here, I'll level up and I won't die, because Legends tier players just build different, man.
On the positive side,
I think we have another gank here.
You know, Ari is only down 17 CS, all things considered.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to continue to see trading across them, especially in this top lane. But, you know, only down 16 CS is good, all things considered. 15 minutes into the game, you're already down as a result of the kills and the assist gold, but you're not also being dominated CS wise. So yes, you're still behind, but it could definitely be worse. So we can hang on to that as hope, as we have another trade in the top lane, another gank bot lane, and this is how Kiki is able to keep up in CS. All of these roams from the Zoe to the bot lane. In. That's gonna be a good ult, disengage ult from the bomb, but a TP coming in from Kiki. Chicas is already down, and now Rub is just getting run down from the slows from the Ashe. There's another picked up the flash from base to Ashley. She's going to flash back out of there again. The ignite does drop, but I think she's going to be just fine. The charm goes a little wide, good sidestep from that subdo, but now we have a 3-person possible dive here, but there's no wave. This could be really, really dangerous. So I think they're going to be content with just clearing this, backing out, taking the kills they have, probably crash this next wave, and then reset and buy.
Yeah, I see a little bit of the malignance coming through from Kiki doing work in that fight. Almost had a kill on he got somebody pretty low there. I believe it was base Ashley. That was definitely really close. Kind of a razor's edge there. Almost went Grub-a-dub-dub's way. You know, actually the ticker at the top says Rub-a-dub-dub, not Grub-a-dub-dub. Just a heads up. I love it, actually. The whole idea.
I like both. I like both names.
Yeah, I do too. You know, I think we'll just leave it. But yeah, so now that Xander's got his first item, he's got his Sork shoes. Maybe there's a kind of a ray of hope there for him, and he's got an avenue back into this series. Looks like we do have different priorities on these objectives right now. As Eric basically solo takes the dragon. And at the same time, it looks like Chicas is going to take the Rift Herald. They get a bounty collected for that as well. But yeah, really, really impressive. So our production guy said he's firing production. But if you take a look now, Grub-a-dub-dub has been fixed at the top. I'd love to see it. It took me like 20 minutes to realize it was wrong. So don't worry, Coop. And yeah, we see Caress actually go down to this 2v1. An ult used by Coach Gliz there means no escape for Caress. They do have TP to get back, though, so we'll see if they want to just TP back to lane and save that tower. Eric immunes the ult from Chicas. Wow, he may still go down. Oh, my gosh. Eric with all of the escape tools, but not able to get out of that one.
Yeah, so one thing that was really vital in that kill on the Camille is Chicas actually had the Vi ult the entire time and held it. It's really easy to overcommit and say, oh, look, just dump everything into this one kill. But it was, we hold it in case something crazy happens. We should be able to secure the kill on the Camille without the Vi ult. They did. And so he had it in time, or still had it up for when he stumbled onto Eric in the top river. And then you could tell he was holding on to it to try and wait to use it exactly when the Black Shield timed out, but it came just just a half a second too early. But by the way, they still secure the kill. They get tower bounty gold in that top lane, which is crucial, very, very important for Grub-a-Dub-Dub. So even though we have this kill score line of 13-8 in favor of Gankenstein's monsters, and we have the CS lead in the top jungle and mid lanes for Gankenstein's monsters, it's only a 2,000
only
gold.
2K.
So very, very good. They're still in it. We're still saving up for the death cap on Zoe. We have both needlessly large rods sitting there in the inventory. We have double burn being built on the Morgana with the Leandries as well as the Blackfire Torch. So this itemization, once the Zoe hits the death cap, the Qs already are causing the health bar to shake. When your health bar shakes, it's bad. It's going to get even worse once you get the 35% amplification onto your ability power for Zoe. So that is going to be a dead Ahri. That's another pick with the sleep as well as the Morgana Q coming through. But Karis may be in trouble again.
He's at 420, by the way.
Hook shot.
Okay, now he's at 421. He was at 420. I wanted to say it before he got a kill. I'm just trolling.
The Camille does end up missed the hook shot, so unfortunately could not extend that play any further to kind of waste their time. But that time the Vi ultimate was committed to secure the kill onto Camille. But meanwhile, we have the mid lane tier 2 dropping in favor of Gankenstein's monster. So opening the map up a lot more, giving less places for Grub-a-Dub-Dub to hide as they transition from lane to lane. They're going to be able to get some really good warding in as Mr. Player 2 getting jumped on here. All the focus is on to the Sivir. Sivir does drop. Braum is going to be next. That's going over to English Teacher. And now we have full control over the bot lane. 4 players from Gankenstein's Monsters is here, but they don't have a wave. So unfortunately,
they used 4 ults there.
The wave clear is good.
Ults.
Yeah.
So I don't know that they have enough in the tank left for another team fight, but it looks like they've got the numbers, and that's all that matters right now. You see now some reinforcements coming through for Grub-a-Dub-Dub. Do they want to fight this? They flash in from Kiki plus the ult. He's going to potentially get his first kill here. We see additional pressure here from Chicas, the smite to try to get the slow, but not enough stickiness from these guys to get the kills, and everyone walks away. Oh man, you could really tell Kiki really wanted that kill there. Just so close, kind of on a razor's edge, and that Septo does escape. Has to use the flash, has to use a few other tools, but that's going to get him out. And oh no, he's not going to get the tower. Okay, there he goes.
I hope we could get the replay there, because I really liked the play from the Ahri. The flash was there. Eric should be dropping here, even though the black shield's there. There's enough damage. So that is going to be Dragon area secured with a living jungler from Grub-a-Dub-Dub. So roughly 2,500 gold lead in favor of Gankenstein's Monsters. But Grub-a-Dub-Dub finding these wins, getting the tower. So watch the Kiki flash here was awesome. Flashing the
Insane.
Morgana Q to get in range of the Lulu, hitting the charm too. Hard to know if it was a fast reaction or what, but either way, It was a really great play to secure that kill, and that's what kind of really started that turn from Grub-a-Dub-Dub, as now based Ashe being dropped as well. So Gankenstein's Monsters, they had the advantage with this pick comp. They were finding picks left and right, but now here we are. Kiki has hit his 7 death power spike, and Grub-a-Dub-Dub is turning things around.
Oh my god, I just died. Dude, no, seriously, only 1,000 gold separating these teams. I mean, Grub-a-Dub-Dub has weathered the storm, honestly. You look at the difference between the mid laners, that's a 2,000 gold difference in the favor of base Ashley. But when you talk about like the entire team as a whole, we've got wins in other lanes. So top lane, somehow the Ornn has actually squeaked out a tiny gold advantage. And that's just enough, right, to keep these guys in this game right now. Ornn's got the ornaments coming online any moment now. He's going to start upgrading his buddies' items to their kind of highest available tier. I wonder who he's going to prioritize first on that. I'd probably, I don't know. I guess maybe the Vi, the only player on the team with a bounty. Caress now starting to do the split push thing, and with that Triforce and the Tiamat under their belt, they're going to have no trouble just totally nuking these towers. And now you also see Eric 29 taking away enemy jungle camps, right? So he's taking away the red buff of Grub-a-Dub-Dub. Meanwhile, Chicas is in the top area there, looking to take some things away from Eric, but there's nothing left. And now he's been found out. So really kind of great all-around play there for Eric. He comes up aces. Let's see if Chicas can get out of this, though. This is going to be kind of dicey if the sleep lands. No, he gets out. Okay. Whew.
Yeah, so a good ring around the rosy play from Chicas there. Kara should be fine here, hook shotting out. He may try to run down. Yeah. They do have the Sivir ult that gets popped. So if he has hook shot back up in time, he can hook shot off this wall and continue to go. He should be fine. Good call out, though, on the Tiamat and the Triforce on Camille. This Camille is committing to the split push. You've got the Triforce. Obviously, you're going to start shredding towers. With those double Q activations. You also have the Tiamat to give yourself the auto attack resets, but the Tiamat also clearing waves a little bit better, with the splash damage. So full committing there. One thing we've seen though with Chicos now, with him getting so far ahead on the Vi, Zoe is not a good tank killer. Zoe does not shred through high health champions very, very easily. And you see Chicos over 3,000 HP already. Has the Merc treads as well. We saw there in that top jungle fight, English teacher or Camille is going to need to be the one that's going to start shredding through this vibe. The Leandries definitely helps from the Morgana, but Morgana's pivoting over to that Seeker's arm guard as well. So it's still mostly dot damage. We need this fast sustained damage onto it. So we still see Chicos eating a lot, but he's going to go in now because the Ashe is there. So we have the commit onto the Lulu. Lulu does drop. Eric 29 almost drops. Zanya's there. The Seekers is blown. So he is going to go golden and survive a little bit more. Dancing around, picking up some of these embers. Gets a triple kill on the Morgana. Coach Glizz comes in just in time to see his teammates drop. Coach Glizz going to run away as well, but Caress going to lock him down. The Unstoppable was not available for the Ornn in time. He does find the Blast Cone, but he's going to take Camille with him. Kiki to Key shows up just in time. Coach Glizz hits another Blast Cone. Hook shot over the wall. He survives, gets under the tower, and now we're just like, okay, bro, I'm done. Please stop.
He's out of there.
Go home.
Man, dude, that was insane.
And separate.
English teacher and Eric 29 both living with sub 200 health. Really could have gone either way there. Grub-a-Dub-Dub just clawing for some of those extra kills, not able to get them. And that's going to mean that looks like it's going to be a Baron take here. The TP in from Kiki to Key just to try to save it. But he's 1v5 now. That's not what he was hoping for. And he's going to go down once again to the familiar Zoe queue. And that's got to be a bummer. These guys were so close to winning that team fight. And who knows what that could have turned into, right? Maybe a big win for them means a Baron. Maybe it means a Dragon off the back of that because we got Dragon spawning in just 30 seconds. But alas, it was just the one kill on that sup, though. And then all the cleanup went the other way. Gankenstein's monsters did a really good job of retreating when they needed to. And a couple players stepped up to protect the vulnerable guys. Said, "Get down, Mr. President. I got you back." And they all went back home and survived to take down that Baron immediately afterwards. And now you see here, it looks like that is the next play. They're going to go for the Dragon. Eric 29 stepping up confidently on this Morgana. That is not a tank, guys. Morgana is squishy mage. But you wouldn't know it because he walks in without fear. He's got backup behind him. 5 players strong. Means Gankenstein's monsters is going to take that fight. And the Ashe arrow from downtown stuns Chicas. He is going to get out of there for now. But that was pretty impressive aim there from English teacher. So that's up, though, in some trouble. A little bit of a split fight here as we see Chicas still surviving, but Karis does get him. Kiki to Key does take out the enemy support once again, but he is left out to dry. And that's going to be an English teacher going on a killing spree. 4 players down for Grub-a-Dub-Dub and only 1 down for Gankenstein's monsters. They are also now on Dragon Soul Point. Everything coming up Gankenstein's monsters here in the back half of this game.
Yeah, for sure. We start to see things be okay. We had the parity there in the top lane with the Ornn, but and then the Vi was getting ahead. But these picks coming through from Gankenstein's monsters are hitting on just the right targets as Coach Dubs does drop again. So unfortunately, too many of those vital CC skill shots are hitting the Sivir, the Ari. We don't have these big bodies blocking it, but they could be going for the end right here. Karis said both Nexus towers are down. Karis does eventually drop, but these super minions are wailing on the Nexus alongside English Teacher, who is focusing on the objective, and that's going to be Gankenstein's monsters taking game 2. And I believe, Ronnie, if I'm not mistaken, that's a 2-0 victory for them tonight.
That's right. Yeah, Gankenstein's monsters taking home the 2-0 after that incredible game 2. Very back and forth for quite a while. After 20 minutes, these teams were only 1,000 gold apart, and ultimately it did mean that we're going to see Gankenstein's monsters take another victory here. And I'm sure a lot of people predicted it. Eric, like we said in Rift Happens, Eric never loses, right? So of course he's going to win, right? But I don't know, man. It didn't look too sure for a couple moments there. There was some pretty intense team fights, really from both sides. Grub gave Gankenstein's monsters all they could handle. You see some of these replays where Coach Gliz was solo killing the Camille, who is like, that's her entire thing is I'm going to take out the tank and solo kill. You got another one right afterwards. So quite a few highlight plays. Really all across the map here, but ultimately, I guess I'd have to probably give it to Based Ashley in terms of maybe like the MVP for this one. Just seemed like every single Q connected, all the sleep bubbles seemed to find their targets. Obviously, a couple of misses, but nobody's going to be 100%. And she just seemed to kind of be dialed in here in this game and be the big difference maker. Heck, I called out that Zoe seemed like she was jungling because she was bot lane so often and constantly all over the map. And it definitely made her presence felt all across this game too.
Right. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right? Michael Scott,
That's
Wayne
right.
Gretzky. So that Zoe absolutely rolled the mid lane game, right? Started getting ahead. And then the pressure that the Zoe was able to exert on the bot side of the map, like just really, it changed everything. It allowed the Ari to kind of stay even in farm. But whenever you have the Zoe can just hard push the wave, totally crash it, and then roam down to the bot lane, influence that lane, and then come back. Here we have a replay from the Zoe. That is a max range Q. Onto it, chunking from 100% to 50%. It's like, it reminds me of like old Nidalee spears, when you eat one of those and you just pretty much, kiss your health goodbye. But amazing Zoe gameplay there really enabled the kind of the pick potential thing. Again, we talked about this. This is a pick comp. Like they're looking for single target picks. We're catching people rotating. Well, when you have the Zoe that can get out of lane and utilize the walls to her advantage to get the distances on the bubbles, the sleep bubbles, it just makes things very, very, very difficult. In fact, one time I saw Zoe had a control ward in the bot tri-brush of blue side. And it's like, Zoe is owning your vision there. It's like, you can't even leave your tower, because as soon as you do, you don't know if this magical sleep girl is right outside of your tower range.
Magical sleep. I love the description.
I mean, I don't know what else to like. I don't know the lore of League of Legends. Somebody out there is going to correct me. Like maybe she's like 6 million years old or something. But either way, it is a really well executed team comp. But as you mentioned, Ronnie, there was the potential for Grub to come back. Like they brought it back within 2,500 gold, and the game wasn't totally lost. We had a really good scrap in the bot lane, and that's when they were able to find an engagement on there. They were able to avoid the pick. We saw the flash away from the Morgana Q. They initiate it. They're able to avoid that initial chunk damage that comes out, and they could turn it because they're buying space for the Sivir. But anytime Gankenstein's monsters got it first, right? Anytime that skill shot landed first, your team fight, you're immediately at a disadvantage because you're chunked to half health. You don't have the resources you need, and it ends up being a lost fight from there. So, a valiant effort from Grub Dub. You can see how it's how the comp was supposed to work. We've also had a really cool comp coming through from Gankenstein's monsters. It was really fun to watch. But definitely some things to look at moving forward. We had all 4 teams showing different looks tonight, and I think that was really, really cool.
Yeah, each tier has its own meta, right? And each player in these series kind of creates their own little legend, right, about themselves, right? We've got a few of these guys who've come back year after year, and they're known for playing specific things. That was cool, man. I'm used to seeing Eric play stuff with like dashes and flashes and flashy plays, and I can jump around you and confuse you, and I'm over here, no, I'm over here. And instead, he just played Morgana and just ran at everybody. So, who knows, man? I thought I knew what kind of player Eric was, and it turns out he could play anything. So, no surprises there. Was really great seeing all the action tonight. I do want to also say shout out to both of the teams that took the L tonight. Nobody wants to lose, right? But nobody also wants to be talked about on stream like, oh man, this guy dunked on you, or you lost by 100 CS or whatever. Trust me, man, if we could talk about everybody winning every single game, right? If everybody could win, right, we'd love to talk about all your wins. So, no hard feelings to anyone. Xander, I know we picked on you a little in that game too there, but all love, right? We definitely don't want anybody to feel bad about losing their first game. It's a long season, so plenty of action to come, guys. Don't get discouraged. I'll be rooting for everybody who lost tonight, and of course, all the folks who won too. We didn't get to see a couple games that were also played, so make sure you guys do tune in to the pre-show next week. Our Coach Rivals pre-show will be bringing you guys a few highlights, right? Potentially. We're going to have a few more predictions. We're going to have a little bit of review stuff because we've got a whole week of Coach Rivals action under our belts. So make sure you guys do show up a little early for that pre-show. I don't know who those 4 guys were, but they seemed pretty knowledgeable. So we're going to let them kind of do that again week after week and just kind of see how it goes. They made a few good calls too. So, shout out to those 4 strangers, the 4 horsemen of Coach Rivals, I guess we could call them. Anyway, that's off the top of the dome. I'm rambling. Thank you guys so much for watching tonight. Justin, do you want to leave us with anything before we sign off tonight?
Yeah, just some parting comments. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to keep an eye on the Discord for a viewer's question Google form being dropped so that you can participate in next week's pre-show. And then we might have some B streams going on, but we're going to recap the other matches that weren't featured on stream tonight. We will be discussing those in the pre-show next week. So if you aren't able to catch those or spectate or anything, we'll give you the rundown. Just keep an eye on the Discord. Make sure that you submit to viewer questions there. And, as Ronnie said, unfortunately, every week there's got to be a winner and there's going to be a loser. It is what it is. But it was a really good showing from all 4 teams. And, now this is the very first week, we're still working out kinks between teams. And, as the good news is everybody makes playoffs. So, you use these first weeks to kind of feel everything out. And then, we're all ramping up towards playoffs. So it's going to be really cool to trace these teams and the progression that they make from week to week. But that is going to do it for us. We had a fantastic night, just under 2 hours of a live cast there. So Ronnie is dancing us out of here. Ronnie, I appreciate you starting this up and then allowing me to join in and help you out. It's good seeing you. It's good working with you. For everybody else, thanks for tuning in. I'm Justin. That's Ronnie, and we'll catch you next week.